They said 3.5 to 4 hours every day researching the show, and then another 2 hours like practicing it. And I mean, their energy, their timing, their turn of phrase it's inspiring. So I left feeling very excited and a little hungover.
6 hours a day total on the podcast.
Yes, but
I
they've
think.
also turned it into a seven-figure revenue stream. So good for them.
Well, I guess we have some work to do
We
because,
have a lot of work to do.
spoiler to our audience, we are not spending 6 hours a day on this podcast.
Hey, I'm Brian.
And I'm Scott.
And welcome to the Two Old Fashions podcast, where two friends get together, just catch up on life. So usually, and actually always, over an old fashioned. So we always start out with, what are you drinking tonight, Scott?
Oh, well, tonight I got a little creative. So I actually made a drink. I know this is the Two Old Fashions podcast, and I think it's in the bylaws that we have to drink old fashions. So this is a variation on an old fashioned, and I decided to name it the Columbus Circle.
Okay.
Any guess why it's called the Columbus Circle?
Did it sail the ocean blue in 1492?
No. So what it is,
Okay.
all right, first of all, it's half rye, half bourbon.
I like
So I
where you're
did
going.
half Peerless rye, half Knob Creek bourbon. And then, our friends at Yes Cocktail Company, we still love you, but you're
Okay.
letting us down. We haven't gotten any syrups from you yet. And so I had to get creative, and I decided actually to put some red vermouth, some sweet vermouth in as my syrup. So it's
Okay.
almost like a Manhattan, but
Yes, I was
it's
going to say, you're definitely in the Manhattan land.
Manhattan land. I put, again, half Angostura, half orange bitters. So again, we're doing that half and half thing. And I looked up what is the midpoint of Manhattan. Like if you cut Manhattan in half, what
Okay.
is the midpoint? And it's Columbus Circle. So this is my Columbus Circle. It's all right.
It is very creative. I mean, the amount of thought you put into it, the research, I really like that. Fortunately, it didn't turn out great, but we've got time
okay.
to experiment and learn.
It's not terrible. It's not terrible.
Good.
I'll drink it. And as always, Brian, it's a
So,
double. I'm ready to go.
Obviously, so a double Columbus Circle.
A double Columbus Circle. Yes.
Nice, well, excellent. I went way more simple. I just went with Maker's Mark, which is not usually something I like to put in cocktails. I love Maker's Mark, big fan. But I usually like a little spice and a little rye, Maker's Mark being a wheated bourbon, but I just wanted something easy tonight. So Maker's Mark, little simple syrup, little chocolate bitters, and a little cherry bitters. So
Nice.
cheers, Scott.
Cheers. And the
So I
end of a
know-
long week, right? I think we both needed a drink tonight.
It has been, yeah. So I know you just hurried back from the school volleyball game. Catch me up on that.
Oh yeah, it was a highly competitive school volleyball game. So there are 4 elementary schools in our little neighborhood, which is crazy for anyone who's not in the Northern Virginia area, right? But
Yeah.
there literally are 4 elementary schools. They're building a 5th as well, but there are 4 right now in our neighborhood.
I was going to say, a not so little neighborhood. It's
Not so
it's
little.
the definition of suburban sprawl. We got 4 villages, 7 lakes. It's a lot going on.
I think there's 1,200 kids at our elementary school. I believe is the number, which I think is the same size as my high school. I think. I don't know. Anyway, the teachers every year, they do a little volleyball game. And, one school's teachers play another school's teachers. And historically, our kids' school has always had the best volleyball teachers, the best volleyball team. They have dominated every single year. And they mixed up the brackets this year, I think, because it was getting a little embarrassing for some of these other schools. So we played a new school, and we got our butts kicked. It was a little embarrassing.
Yikes.
Yeah, they played best of 5. We actually started off winning all 3 games, but the other team came from behind and won. So we lost 3-0 in straight sets. The last game, or game 3, did go to, I don't know what you call it in volleyball, right? But you have to win by 2. So it went to extra innings in volleyball.
Okay.
So it was
Yeah.
exciting. We did lose. But I was actually really proud. It was a good fatherly moment. So my son, he's very emotional. as he was younger, some might say he had a tendency to be a poor sport, or just he didn't take losing very well. But he actually got in line with his school's teachers and was the first person to shake their hands and say, like, nice effort, nice effort, nice effort. So
Nice.
I was like very proud of him. It was a good parenting moment.
That is good. So did he like rush the court? Like, did he have an official role of sportsmanship, or he just went for
He
it?
just went for it. It was really cool. The other school, they did rush the court. It was something. They were pouring Gatorade on the teachers. The teachers were not very happy about that for a number of reasons.
Kind of.
It was a mess. But yeah, no, it was a sad outcome. But that's okay. It was a fun way to support the schools, and the kids got to eat pizza, so everyone was happy. And then we came
Very
home. We had
nice.
ice cream.
What a day. And then you've been golfing a little bit, right? This has been a very sporty week for you.
It's a big week. So every year, me and some friends, we do a little mini golf tournament right around the second week of March to kind of kick off the golf season. And the background behind it is on March 13th, 2020, right as the world is shutting down. It was a Friday, and we were out golfing that day. And, we keep getting the alerts on our phone being like, oh my gosh, school's now going to be virtual and daycare is closed. And all these things are happening while we're on the golf course. We're thinking the world is ending. And we kind of decided, hey, let's memorialize that by always trying to golf on March 13th or thereabouts. And you can tell, I guess, based on these dates of when we're recording this, but March 13th, today's March 12th, the weather is very, very bad. So we actually bumped up the tournament a couple days when the weather was in the 80s. So we had a great day, a great couple days of golf. And I'm proud to say that I won.
Ooh, congratulations. Oh, look at the
Look,
trophy.
this is my trophy. Don't worry, it's bigger in real life. But yes, this commemorates 2 times in a row I've won. And I'm not that good at golf, so I'm very proud of this accomplishment. It goes right up there.
Oh my gosh.
And my Jeff Ament Funko Pop is on the ground, but that's okay.
I mean, I'm proud of you for winning it. I'm kind of disappointed in you for not drinking your old fashioned out of your trophy cup.
Next episode, let's do that. Let's do it, like Stanley Cup style.
Yes, yes, yes.
How are you doing? You were just telling me you were out last night. You were out late.
I was. So, I wanted to go and see some of my podcast heroes. I'm a big podcast listener. I was kind of inspired the idea to actually do our own. And so I went and saw these 2 guys, Nick and Jack. They created a podcast called The Best One Yet. They call it T-Boy. And it's 3 pop culture business stories every day. So they actually were doing what they call their IPO tour, in-person offering. And they're going around to different cities. DC just happened to be one of the big 4. So got to go out last night, see them record. So they recorded an episode, which actually aired today. And then they did an interview with Kara Swisher. Couldn't have been nicer guys. Came out to the bar afterwards. Just they love to hug each other. They love to hug the crowd. But they're great. And I actually got turned on to them. A friend of mine turned me on to their show. They did one called The Best Idea Yet. And so again, best one yet, 3 pop culture business stories every day, very topical. Best idea yet, the business and marketing behind a specific product. And so a friend told me about it because both of our sons were obsessed with Happy Meals at the time. So their first episode was all about how a woman in South America who was a McDonald's franchise owner actually like created the Happy Meal, and then it expanded and grew out from that. So they did things like Pokemon, Ninja Turtles, Fender guitar, Super Mario. So for my son, got into podcasting because I would play these for him in the car, and he'd be like, all right, Dad, we're going out to get our haircuts and we're going to listen to the story of the Ninja Turtles again. So just really cool. And then to like meet them in person, they couldn't have been nicer, like I said, and, wanting to get better at this, just so inspiring. They said 3.5 to 4 hours every day researching the show, and then another 2 hours like practicing it. And I mean, their energy, their timing, their turn of phrase it's inspiring. So I left feeling very excited and a little hungover.
6 hours a day total on the podcast.
Yes, but they've also turned it into a 7-figure revenue stream. So good for them.
Well, I guess we have some work to do because
a lot of work to do.
Spoiler to our audience: we are not spending 6 hours a day on this podcast. I'm sorry, guys.
We are
Maybe
not.
maybe later, but not yet. Now, I do have to ask you. So you met your heroes. We've been talking about meeting our heroes over the past few episodes. It sounds like they were much more appreciative of the fans than maybe some of these other heroes that we've met.
Yeah, after hearing about your story with Howie Day, I was skeptical. But like I said, these guys could not have been nicer. Just, asking me about my career, like my family, just everything you would want. Like, again, lots of hugs, everybody's cheering glasses. So the
Did
opposite of
you
the Howie Day story.
did you tell them that you have a podcast?
I did not.
You did
It's
not.
like, no, it's like if you met like Bryce Harper and you're like, you know what? I played baseball in high school. Like, that's how you get the Howie Day reaction.
Oh, so it's my fault. No, but that was a perfect opportunity, right? We could have had them on. They could have had us on, and man,
Yes.
we
Yeah.
could have at
So,
least made like four
Harris Swisher
figures.
one day, Brian
Man,
Scott the next. Well,
yeah.
we'll see. We'll get
Okay.
it. We'll get a year in, and then we'll show them.
Okay. Okay.
Yep.
That sounds good. That sounds good. Well, I think today we're going to do things a little differently. I think on the podcast, and not to be a downer, not for this to be a downer of an episode, but Brian, you and your family had a little bit of a tough week this week, and I think we were going to talk about that a little bit. So, Brian, I don't know if you want to jump right in.
Yeah, we did. And yeah, like we talked about this kind of before coming on air. This show is about our lives, right? And good things happen and tough things happen. So last weekend, we actually had to put our beloved family dog down. She was 11 years old. Had been part of the kids' life for their entire life. And it happened so sudden, Scott. Like Friday night, we do movie nights often, and the kids
Yeah.
are just throwing the toy to her, and she's running back and forth, just totally fine. Saturday morning, gets up, eats her breakfast, does her business, like just going about her day. I'd actually taken her on walks to the bus stop the previous days, like would have never guessed anything was wrong. I leave on Saturday morning to go down to Charlottesville to watch the UVA basketball game, go
Yeah.
Hoos. And then on the way back, I get a text from my wife saying, like, don't be too worried, but we did see that the dog had some bleeding. I'm like, okay, not that big a deal. Unfortunately, throughout the course of that drive back, and just kind of bleeding didn't stop, unfortunately. So I did a panic trip to the emergency vet. That could not have been nicer, like the best caretaking you could get. But they
Yeah.
they ran a couple tests, and it's a very anxious time, and the kids are we put the kids to bed. It's late, and the vet says, I think this is quite serious. So they ran some tests, and they unfortunately, Harper, our dog, had stopped making platelets, which is what stops bleeding. So could have been multiple different scenarios. Could have been cancer. Could have been anemia. But basically, they said you have a couple options, right? We can go to 3 to 4 days of inpatient treatment, blood transfusions, all this kind of stuff, and have a very small chance of success. Or we could kind of do this Hail Mary. We'll give her some steroids tonight. You can take her home, just help everybody get a chance to potentially say goodbye, come back in the morning, maybe, again, maybe Hail Mary, maybe this works.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it didn't. My wife and then one of my daughters went. My daughter, she's so sweet. She wants to be a vet. And I don't think she quite knew exactly what she was getting into. We warned her, but she was like, I just need to see this. I mean, kids are amazing. My son at one point said, you can take all my blood and give it to her if that would
Yeah.
help. So like, it was rough. We all kind of huddled around against it's like a little 11-year-old, maybe 12-pound toy poodle. We got our time to say goodbye and just make sure that things were as peaceful for her as possible. But it's been rough. Like again, I think just because it happened so fast and weren't prepared, which in some ways was good, right? We didn't have a
Yeah.
long suffering, this extended goodbye. But, every morning I wake up and I go to like make her breakfast, or, we have kind of overhang, and then you look down on kind of the family room, and, she would always sit on this brown blanket. And the kids have actually taken one of my old stuffed animals, put her collar on it, and then put it in that spot. So then it's like you look and you think she's there. Or the first night, my wife heard like phantom scratching at the door, which is what she used to do when she wanted to go out. So
Yeah.
it's been tough. We got so many nice notes and people reaching out. But yeah, I mean, people will always say like your dog's your baby, which, I think when you think about it compared to your kids, kids are a lot harder. But this was the first living thing like my wife and I took care of, and it was hard. I
Yeah.
didn't have any dogs growing up. I had hamsters and fish and birds, but nothing like this. So it's been rough. It's been rough on the kids, been rough on our nanny. My parents like loved this dog. So yeah, but like we said, this is life and it
Yeah.
happens. And so it's an experience.
Yeah. Well, we were very sorry to hear that. I know my youngest son, you weren't at the bus stop the other day, but he ran over to your daughters and he said, he was sorry.
Oh,
But,
so sweet.
it's a part of life. And I think we're getting to that age, not just pets, of course, but, we're dealing with people getting sick, people passing
Yep.
away. I think I was kind of like you. I never grew up with a pet. And when my wife and I started dating and, she eventually moved in with me, she had a dog. And so that
Mm.
was the first pet I ever had. And he was this big golden lab. He was like a 70-pound lab that when my wife adopted him, I think the vet or, whoever she adopted the dog from said that he was like 6 years old or so. So
Mm.
we expected him to pass away, 6 years or so after she adopted him. 12 years, 13 years or so. And he just kept going on. And we kept thinking like, oh, I guess he wasn't really 6. He wasn't really, he must
Yeah.
not have been 5. He must not have been 4. Like how old was he when she adopted him? He actually passed away in 2019. And we think he was 17 years old when he
Mm.
passed, which is not the world record for a lab, but
But it's up there.
it's
Yeah.
up there. He was old and he was having a lot of problems too for a long time. But that was the first experience I had of losing somebody really close. And I didn't really know how to react. I know I had a tough time explaining to the kids, hey, you're going to go to
Mhm.
daycare. And when you come home, they're not going to be here. The dog's not going to be here anymore.
Yeah.
And we've been very fortunate. I don't know about you, Brian, but we've been very fortunate that we haven't had any very close family members pass. I think my grandma, actually both of my grandmas passed since we've had kids, but they were too young to really understand what was going on. And
Hmm.
so I think we're starting to think about how do you talk to your kids about loss and people potentially passing away. We've been watching Modern Family with our kids, and
Yeah.
there was just one episode we watched where the neighbor, who was an older man, he passed away, and they had to explain to the kids about that. So yeah, we're getting to that stage where you just have to think about those conversations and how you're going to deal with them.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we were lucky when we got married. We had 7 of our 8 grandparents were able to be
Wow.
there and alive.
7 of 8.
Yeah. In the almost 20 years since we've lost them all. The kids got to know a couple of them, and then we had a good friend from college that passed away back in, I guess, 2013, and that was definitely the hardest
Yeah.
loss for my wife and I in terms of just somebody so young, so vibrant, so healthy. Cancer took her, but yeah, I mean we're at that age. They tell us we're in that sandwich generation, so it's like we've got the older side, we've got the kids, and there's a lot going on. But yeah, loss is tough, and they talk about the different stages of grief. So I think
Yeah.
right now we're sometimes in denial, sometimes in acceptance. Yeah, I think the biggest, scariest part is the kids are like, "So when are we getting a new dog?" We're like, "We're not going to do that for a long, long time."
Well, I mean, I was saying that for a long, long time, but then we eventually got another dog. So, give it time, and then you'll bring another dog into your house, I'm sure.
Like you said, it's life. It's tough. It's the
Yeah.
kids element is hard, but I do like to think back and think about all the good memories, right? And just they were asking like how little was she when you brought her home, and we're like she would literally fit in our hands.
Yeah.
And we were able to look at old pictures and just kind of do the memories. Like my dog loved the water. My parents have a boat on the James River, so she would like get this little doggy life jacket and ride on the boat and do that kind of stuff. She was such a good chill dog. Like never barked except maybe at the Amazon guy, but that was about it. And I think she thought she was being 12 pounds of security.
Yeah.
But yeah, good memories. Just it's weird that she's not here anymore.
Do these type of situations, do they make you think like, oh man, I need to take better care of myself, or I need to do some, more planning, get my stuff in order just in case something happens to me?
A little bit. I mean, transparently, I think we've done a smart job on that. My wife is very smart and
Oh,
organized. So
she would be really good at that.
we've got the family trust. We've got the order of all that. I
Yeah,
mean,
I need her to come over and help us out.
you do, yeah. And I mean, every once in a while, yeah, when I go running and the kids are like, oh, why are you doing that? I'm like, trying to take care of myself so I can live longer for you guys. So I do think about it. And then, I have too many of these every once in a while. But I think
Yeah.
overall, keeping it healthy, well prepared. I mean, we're not at that point where, some families will say, oh, the mom and the dad don't go on the same flight. Like that, we're not doing any of that kind of
Yeah,
stuff.
I've seen that. I've
Yeah.
seen that. That's crazy. That's crazy.
But
Have
yeah,
you
the speed at which it happened does make you think like not to be all corny, but cherish the moments, hug the people you
Yeah.
love, spend time on the things you like to, and enjoy it.
Yeah. Have you had a lot of friends who have gotten sick or dealt with, issues or anything like that, and had to deal with that, and obviously be a good friend?
Yeah, I mean, we have had friends that have gone through cancer, tumors, things like that. Fortunately, most
Yeah.
have recovered, but it's always scary. And we're at the age where a lot of my friends' parents are passing, and then watching them go through
Yeah.
those situations is really hard. I feel very fortunate that for me and my wife, all of our parents are kicking it, happy, healthy for the most part, and just aging with grace. So
Yeah.
lucky there. What about you?
No, I think we've been very lucky. I think over the past year or two, I've seen more of, actually a lot of my friends' spouses, not a lot. A lot is the wrong word, but more of my friends' spouses, for whatever reason, have gotten sick and had, have had to deal with some issues, which has been tough. But I think for the most part, knock on wood and all the superstitions, we've been very lucky. But same thing. Like I think some of my parents' friends have started to pass. I was just talking to my wife about how my parents now seem like they want to see us every single weekend, and I'm wondering if that is a result of some of the things that they're seeing with their friends. But both of my parents are the youngest siblings in their families, and all my aunts and uncles are still with us. We've been very lucky. So
Yeah. Yeah, same. I will.
but yeah, so there's again, friends dealing with these situations. It's hard.
Yeah, my parents have started traveling more, which I love. They've gone to Europe twice this year, which is amazing for them. And then they also have prioritized spending time with the grandkids. I'm an only child, so then my kids are their only grandkids. So
Yeah.
they're like, we want to spend as much time with them, not like thinking about passing, hopefully, but just while they have the energy and that kind of thing. So really, really fortunate. So I mean, we're talking about sad things. I get that, but also trying to find the joy in it.
Yeah. Well, I think it kind of also comes back to what we talked about maybe an episode or two ago about how, I think we were talking about concerts, right? Like go see the show, because you never know what could happen to you, what could happen to the band you want to go see, what could happen to anything. Live life, right? This is a somber topic, but also it's reality, and it just goes to serve as a reminder that you have to live in the moment. You can't just keep saying like, I'll do that next year, or I'll do that next month. Just do it. That's actually one of my biggest pet peeves. And I'm a procrastinator too, right? Don't get me wrong. But when people are like, like, I'm just waiting for that excuse. Just do it. Just do it. If you want to move. Like, go do it. Go do it. Go buy that car. You
There
want
you
to buy
go.
that car? Buy the car. You want to go move to Canada? Move to Canada. Just do it.
Yeah. Buy the tickets, order the dessert, enjoy it.
Order the dessert. Yeah.
Yeah.
If there's an ice cream sundae, order that ice cream sundae.
Yeah. I'm like, I'm not a big dessert person, but ice cream is my go-to. Like cake, all that. I love ice cream though. Milkshakes. When you were talking
I
about getting the post volleyball ice cream, I was kind of thinking, should I have some ice cream after this? I'm not going to, but it does sound appealing.
Yeah, I mean, ice cream is my number one dessert. If I'm at a steakhouse, right? Steakhouses have the best desserts. Can we
Do
agree
they?
on that? Of like a nice restaurant, I think the steakhouse has the best because you're always going to get like a peanut butter cake, you're gonna
Mm,
get a chocolate mousse cake, or a layer cake or something like that. Uh, Probably like a key lime pie,
little cheesecake action. You a
a
big cheesecake guy?
cheesecake. Oh yeah, uh, and then you'll maybe some apple pie, but then you'll have the ice cream sundae, and you always got to get the ice cream sundae.
Yeah.
Always. Have you ever been to that place in? It's called the Yard. It's up in One Loudon, and they give you the big like paint bucket ice cream sundaes. They're like
No,
$25 ice cream sundaes.
no, but that sounds like something that my kids would love.
Yeah, I mean each ice cream sundae is like $25. They probably each weigh like 3 pounds, and it's the kitchen sink in a paint can. It's amazing.
Wait, does each person get one of these, or are you getting like one? It's like family style.
Yes. We went so last year I was celebrating something and I wanted to usually like my wife and I will go out to dinner if we're celebrating something, but I wanted to celebrate with the family. So it's like what can we do for the four of us? And I actually went to Reddit and I asked like, hey, I'm in Loudoun County, want to do a big celebration. I know of this one place called the Yard, but is there anything else where we can get these like just ridiculous ice cream sundaes? And everybody said no, go to the Yard. It's the best ice cream sundaes. Um, yeah. I mean, if you're looking for to indulge,
Hmm.
and we did get four, right? I mean,
Okay.
the kids did not finish theirs. I think I finished theirs after I finished mine. Did not have dinner that night, but yeah, it's
Nice.
not an
I think
everyday
we.
thing, but it's a special occasion place.
I was gonna say, I feel like that would be a great thing for the last day of school, like a cool celebration.
It's called the Yard, right? Because the milkshake brings all the girls to the yard. Like that's why they call it the Yard. Because it's just these like they also have gigantic milkshakes.
You've been? I haven't, but I believe you.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
We also
should
used
we
to.
wrap?
Oh yeah, we probably should wrap it up because I was going to go down a big tangent about desserts. I was going to say like the other thing, the
Let's
other thing.
let's save your desserts for another episode, Scott.
Desserts will be next episode.
Yeah. But Scott, thanks again so much for being such a good friend, for reaching out when the dog passed. Really appreciate it. And this has been nice for me, a little bit cathartic to get to kind of tell the story and kind of what we went through and really end on a note of hope. So, everybody that does have a dog, please give it a hug, hug your friends, hug your family, buy the tickets, order the dessert, and cheers.
Cheers. We'll see you next time.